You're listening to the Griffin Sports Insider Podcast, live from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill in St. Joseph, Missouri. It's our live weekly chat with Missouri Western coaches and athletes. Here's your host for the Griffin Sports Insider Podcast, Tommy Rezach.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Monday. Thanks for being here for our live Griffin Sports Insider Podcast here on this Monday, February 23rd, 2026. Broadcasting live as normal from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill here on Frederick Avenue in St. Joseph as we have a busy week, let's put it that way. Home and away, winter sports, spring sports, it's all here between now and Sunday, really, the next 6 days. We got plenty to talk about, including conference championships for Griffin Indoor Track and Field, who are just coming off of the Northwest Tune-Up Last Chance Meet, which took place on Thursday in Maryville. And here to talk with us about it is our head track and field coach, Sean Gosewisch. And Sean, another meet, another victory for Mackenzie Gar in shot put, a provisional mark of 49 feet 1.5 inches. Mackenzie also runner-up in weight throw, 58 feet and a half inch, which is another NCAA provisional mark in the top 30 nationally. Let's just start there. And Mackenzie Gar, the defending conference champion in indoor shot put. How are the Gar siblings, Coach Jordan and Mackenzie, feeling going into this week for them?
You know, they're very confident. She's had a really good indoor season, as you mentioned, a lot of event victories through a lot of the meets she's been to. So, going in a good spot. Of course, conference is a one-day thing, right? Like a one-shot opportunity, so you've got to bring it the day of, really make it count when it needs to count. But they're both in a good spot. They're thinking big things, of course, and then we'll see how it all shakes out the day of.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works, isn't it? You never know until I know they don't have a starting gun for throwing events, but you never know until the lights go on, so to speak. But talking of last Thursday, some other competitors for you guys, Yessi Carrillo, a second-place finish in the 600-meter run. Bailey Cutler, top 5 in the 800. And then a couple other throwers familiar with this program, Dawson Miller, Kelsey Fair, top 10 marks in the shot put. Obviously I know that is a shorter field and is exactly what it is, right? A last chance to improve your marks before conference, and seems like a lot of folks had the chance to do that.
Yeah, I would say majority of the athletes that we brought with us kind of capitalized on that opportunity. Like you mentioned, Dawson, he keeps improving in the weight throw. He's just on the outside of scoring position, looking in now, broke Jordan's, I believe, indoor weight throw record this past, when he competed on Thursday. So he's in a good spot. A lot of the athletes that went there on Thursday moved up in the positions, moved up closer to scoring or getting into conference itself. So it was a successful meet for us.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Now we look toward this indoor championship. We've had it circled on our calendar for a while, February 27th through March 1st, down there in Pittsburgh, Kansas, the venue being the Robert Plaster Center there on the Pittsburgh campus. Obviously, it's a place we've been competing. We've been down there this year and in years past. So how does it remind us, how is it determined who all gets to compete or who's all going here?
Sure. I mean, there's a 3-athlete limit on most of the events, so we're fine for a majority of it. We are a little distance heavy, of course, so we've got to make those decisions on who we think will really step up and make that impact for the team.
Okay, and then looking further ahead to round out the indoor season, national championships in indoor coming up March 13th and 14th in Virginia Beach. Of course, Mackenzie has been on that national stage, so again, I'll ask you to refresh mine and our audience's memory. What does Mackenzie have to do this weekend to be in that national picture?
Shot put wise, she's in a pretty good spot right now.
She's top 10, right?
Yeah, she's top 10.
Yeah.
The higher she moves, the better at the end of the day.
Right.
Unless there's anything crazy happening over the next 2 weeks, I think she'll be pretty solidly in for shot put. And then there's always a chance because she's sitting just on the outside looking in with weight throw. A good weekend with weight throw could put her in that top 20. Maybe top 16 and give her a shot at that too.
So pretty much by a week from where we're sitting here, we'll pretty much know where she is or if she's going or what else.
Yeah. I mean, the week after conference, there might be some last chance meets around the nation that people are still trying to squeak in, but in about a week after conference, we'll know pretty well.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's, again, this Friday through Sunday in Pittsburgh, Kansas, the MIAA Indoor Track and Field Championships, and we'll be keeping track all weekend long to see how, of course, Mackenzie Gar does, but all of our Griffins competing there against the best of the best in this conference, and this conference truly is the best. Pittsburgh State, the host, they've won multiple national championships in this sport, so Griffins going up against some truly almost, the Winter Olympics just ended, almost Olympic-level athletes that we see in some of these programs, and Mackenzie Garr has done Olympian-type things in throwing, so look forward to seeing how it all shakes out. So, Coach Goose, good luck to you and everyone going down there.
Appreciate you.
All right, there you go. Sean Gosewisch to lead us off here. Guys, thank you for being here, and Coach, just starting with you, an off week from competition, getting set for two pretty good matches here in Kearney this weekend. Since, we were up here last week, how have you felt about just the preparation and the response from that opening match last weekend?
What I told you that I was hoping to see is exactly what happened this week. I think we turned it around pretty good practice-wise, and we're carrying some momentum with making some adjustments in doubles, better attitudes. Things are going faster. We don't have to slow down so much and explain things that we have explained before, so it looks good. Now we have a good test this weekend with two really good teams, and I feel what I told them yesterday after finishing the practice week, we are more prepared to play those teams that are on paper better than we were prepared to play the previous team.
Yeah, Rockhurst, who we opened with, and then we're getting ready to see St. Mary's of Texas, which of course Coach Alex was a grad assistant down there, and then Augustana, always a good challenge in our central region. And talking to Jevrosima here, a win in number 3 singles against Rockhurst last week, and as the season started, Jevro ranked 15th in the central region in singles. And Jevrosima, good to see you. Thanks for coming up here. You had a strong fall showing, ITA regionals in Edmond all the way back in September. That's what kind of determines who's ranked where, and obviously you get that win in singles. I know it wasn't the team result y'all were hoping for, but personally, individually, how much confidence did that fall event give you heading into this winter?
For me personally, it was good. I mean, it was my first match in the season, so it was good. I expect that result. I was confident for that match, so it was okay. Yeah,
and we talked about as you come up here, one of 5 new players. I believe it's 3 freshmen that we signed this year. How is this group settling in? Some of whom who had transferred in, obviously a couple players who have been here for a while, and obviously most of us on this team international as well. Just how has that vibe been just with you and the other teammates?
I think that we have good connection. It was like, we are international, so it's good. We have like a lot of topics to talk about and everything, so I think it's good. We have good connection from first day, so I think that's most important.
Yeah, Bojnik, Serbia, your hometown.
Yes.
What was the best part about growing up in Serbia?
A lot of things.
Yeah,
but let's say sport. Like, I'm from sports family, so
sure.
Everyone around me is in some sports. So I think that's the good thing. But about Serbia is like sport country, so I think that's good thing.
I am curious. We have a basketball player from Montenegro and Marko Pavlovic. Those are bordering nations. Have your guys' paths crossed here in St. Joseph at all, or have you had a chance do you talk about that, or?
Yes, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
And we're similar in some things.
Yeah.
But in other we're not, because they're not same sports. So.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I just remember looking up where Montenegro is, and it's right by Serbia.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great athletes that come out of that area for sure. So as Coach was alluding to, some really good challenges ahead for Griffin Tennis in Kearney this weekend. Play 12th ranked St. Mary's, in fact, and then an Augustana team that's receiving votes. St. Mary's at 4-1, Augie at 7-1, and Alejandro, I know you've been trying to get that St. Mary's match scheduled for a couple of years, and now you'll get the chance. And these are early matches for tennis. Saturday at 8, Sunday at 8 a.m. And I assume this is an indoor facility you guys will be playing in?
Yeah, we play indoor, and Augustana is traveling to play St. Mary's, UNK, and us. St. Mary's is playing also UNK, Augustana, and us, and we're playing only Augustana and St. Mary's. So it's early days. They're going to be a lot of matches played there. They have men's teams too. So it's a really nice indoor facility they have. They hosted ITA National Indoors for 2 years, and they have only 6 courts, but they have really good quality. I think they might have live stream too. I'm not sure, but early matches, a lot of tennis to be played this weekend, and looking forward to it.
And then you guys play in Kearney again the following weekend, right?
We go back again. I think that's sort of a good meeting point for teams to go there and play each other. Meet halfway. Kind of like what I wish we could do here if we had access to a little more courts and times. We've done things like this in the past, but it's harder when teams want to play men's and women's stuff. But it's a good point to go. Find some regional competition out of the region competition, and if they had another weekend, we'll probably go again.
Yeah, no doubt about it. As Mo West will play this Saturday and Sunday, St. Mary's of Texas and Augustana of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And then March 7th and 8th, Midland University and NAIA out of Fremont, Nebraska. That was a bit of a late addition to the schedule, Saturday, March 7th. And then Sunday, March 8th, a regional test against Minnesota State. The Griffin tennis team back at home Thursday, March 12th against Southwest Baptist. Still a good amount of non-conference matches to get through before the conference opener, March 28th at Fort Hays State. So that's what's ahead this weekend. St. Mary's and Augustana in Kearney, Nebraska. With Jevrosima Mitic and Coach Alejandro de la Torre. That's Griffin Tennis. Guys, thanks so much. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Tommy.
All right, appreciate your time. There you go. Jevrosima Mitic, Alejandro de la Torre talking tennis to lead us off. Joined by Coach Thompson. And again, the senior pitcher out of Roswell, New Mexico. Transfer of Rogers State University. Trinidad State College before that. Torie Sandoval. Ladies, thanks for being up here. And weekend off, Coach, in some ways good, in some ways, not. I know it's hard to wait to create that anticipation, but I look at the forecast, looks great. And it's only, 45 minutes in the bus to where we're going this week? I mean, that's pretty good vibes to start our week right there, isn't it?
Yes. For us to only have to go 45 minutes and have that kind of off week here to reset mentally and physically and get a little bit of rest, especially with our pitchers. But I can't say that we didn't grind on them this week, so we wanted to prepare them and get them to still have that throttle down of just because we were an off week, to still have that intensity, focus, energy at practice, because it's what's got us here at this 12-2 mark. And so to me, if I'm not doing my job of keeping them pushed this week, I think that we turn around and, our mindset is game one against Winona State, who's very good right now.
Yes.
And that's a regional foe for us as well. So to get them ready for those games, that's what this last week was all about. And I'm very proud of them. We grinded on them. We went back into some film work with some people. We did some small things with our bullpens, with the pitchers to kind of fine-tune things. And then we, live scrimmaged in between us, which, like I said, I think our pitchers are sick of seeing our hitters, when we got back from winter break. But it was good to still see batters in the batter's box both ways. And so I think we're ready. We're ready to now compete and, play someone else.
Love that. Yeah, 6 teams on the docket this weekend, 5 of whom are Central Region teams. Hey, we have a rematch with Quincy University coming up this weekend as well. Torie, I'm going to have you scoot that mic just a teeny bit closer for me. Thank you so much. So Torie Sandoval, again, one of our starting pitchers joining us, and a few numbers on Torie so far: 2 wins, couple saves, 19 strikeouts, a complete game as well. Torie, I know this was when we saw your name in the signing class. Rogers State kind of has that reputation in our conference, right? A national champion a few years ago. So anytime you see that and saw your numbers, it stood out. How have you enjoyed just being here, though, working with Coach Stephanie and Nicole and this whole group of pitchers that we got this year?
I love it. This team is great. My pitching staff is amazing. We support each other. Our coaches are so supportive. If we're struggling with anything, they pick us up right away, figure anything out for us. This team just clicks really well. We pick each other up like we're each other's biggest cheerleaders. It's amazing.
Yeah. Now, just looking at your career, it's been a really good one. A D2 All-American relief pitcher at Rogers State last year, JUCO All-American at Trinidad State before that. So take me through the process. You had a pretty good year there at RSU last year. Obviously we played each other. We passed each other through the season. But when you went into the portal and were looking for a new start, what was it about just Mo West and the culture here that appealed to you?
Yes, Torie.
Well,
tell us the story.
Oh, man, I unlocked something.
So
here.
out of JUCO, I was supposed to go to Regis with Coach Nicole here.
Yeah, I've heard a few of these stories up here, but keep going. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Missouri's so far from home. I don't want to be 13 hours away from home, blah, blah. And I was like, well, we'll go a little closer to home. And then once it opened back up and I was like, I talked to a few of my teammates now. I was like, do you guys love this team? Do you guys love Coach Nicole? And they were like, yes, like this is amazing here. And I was like, being this far from home is so worth it. If the team's worth it, the coaches are worth it, and I don't regret it at all. I love it here.
Yeah. I think you might be the first New Mexico native I've talked to. Whereabouts is Roswell then? In that it's a big state.
It's in the southern part. It's not very fun.
Desert, I assume?
Desert, very dry. Just play sports there. There's nothing much to do down there.
Yeah.
But
how far is that from Albuquerque? I assume that's the nearest airport.
Yeah, it's 3 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Wow. Well, it's I mean, KCI is only 30 minutes from where we sit.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit better there. Nicole, briefly on Torie, you talked about needing the want or the need to add depth to pitching, and we've done that, and also fortunate to get Ashlyn and Harley back, but to get Torie and this group of newcomers, some freshmen in there. I mean, what has that chemistry been like with the folks who have been here a long time, and also those who are just kind of getting their feet under them?
It's been a big reason, again, why we're 12-2 is having that pitching staff, and we can throw. I'm very fortunate to have Torie join us this year because she just brings us more depth and brings us a strength that we haven't had in a while, and so she's able to open games, she's able to close games, and it's been really fun to see her confidence. Clearly, like I said, we have a backstory. I've been wanting her for a very long time. I've recruited her for a very long time, and so to have her now a part of our squad and a part of our team, I'm very grateful that she decided to pick Missouri Western here for this last year. And so when that name came on that transfer portal, that was a very, very important phone call, of getting her here with us. And so, but the whole staff, like she said, to be able to have the qualities that this group brings every single day, we wanted a staff that has different strengths in each other, but that also have the same goal in mind at the end of the day, and that was to win ball games. And so we've got kids that, strive for different things. We've got kids that are going to start. We've got kids that are going to come in relief, and we've got our middle innings eaters. And so to have them all work as a family, to come together is huge, and I think it just is going to take us farther in the MIAA because now we're not relying on one arm, and then having this group of okay, whenever your number's called, and a lot of it is matchups. We do the scouting reports, we see who we're playing, and we're like, okay, this kid's its strengths is going to match up better with these hitters' weaknesses, and so it's been fun to see that. And like I said, Torie's confidence here on the mound has just bloomed throughout this year, and so I'm excited to see the rest of the year for her.
Yeah, and that home opener getting a little bit closer for us, March the 7th against Augustana. I know there might be some scheduled changes coming in March as well, but for right now, this weekend, it's 6 games at the Mid-America Sports Complex, Shawnee, Kansas, the event that the Griffins are playing in. It's the Top Gun Midwest College Classic, and again, weather all looks pretty good right now, and so here we go. Friday the 27th, it starts with Winona State, Minnesota State, Moorhead at 10 and 12:15. This Saturday, Bemidji State, Concordia St. Paul, 12:15 and 2:30. Sunday, March 1st, Minnesota State, Sunday morning at 10. Quincy to follow on Sunday afternoon at 2:30. And you said it, Coach, it starts with probably the best team in the field. That is who you'll lead off, at least the best team in those in that group. Winona State is 9-2 right now. Obviously, we got a nice win over Quincy a few weeks ago, but that's a lot of innings that our arms are going to be throwing here this weekend.
Yep.
That's a lot of softball. Just what are the expectations going in?
We talked about staying present, and so our mindset right now is Winona State, and we ended scrimmage yesterday, and we told them that today was our off day, and we get back to work on Tuesday to start scouting for them, and they've got 2 good arms that are coming back, but I think our hitters are battle-tested with the pitching that we've seen here in the last 3 weeks, and, same thing with our pitchers of, we're going to see a lineup that's hitting over 300 as a group, but also I don't think they've seen kind of the pitching staff that we have on staff as well. And so I think we're just excited to get back to work. We're excited to get back on the field. 6 games, but it's kind of part of why we kind of got the mental reset this week, and now we can take it to these 6 teams and get ready before we start opening conference in a couple weeks.
I know these weekends are always headaches for sports information directors because I sit up here and go, we don't know about streaming, we don't know about live stats, we will keep you up to date as best we possibly can on GoGriffins.com. Does that surprise you? Like, you guys were in Branson a couple weeks ago. I mean, that an NCAA sanctioned event, like getting stats or like box scores for some of those games was unbelievably difficult. Like, does that surprise you at this level that happens?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I think softball too, with the crossover where, we don't have the privilege of, being able to send an SID down with us as well. And so, other sports, it's, more, I guess, realistic for SIDs or people to travel. And so I think it's always been kind of in the softball world of, we're going to put tournaments on, we're going to have people come, but you would think that, I think in the future, once we start getting these tournaments that are a little bit bigger and, some good competition, that, you're going to get some stuff. I do know they're live streaming this weekend.
Oh, good.
Live stats. Mitch, I think, is just going to get pictures from the book score for me. So, unless he wants to come down to Kansas City and watch some softball.
Well, he is a little bit ill right now. I do know that. So, wishing him well. And, it's going to be nice weather for anyone who might want to come down and watch. It's the Mid-America Sports Complex. Great facility there in Shawnee. A lot of good fields and a lot of softball going on down there this weekend. The Griffins play 6 games starting on Friday against Winona State. That's senior pitcher Torie Sandoval, head coach Nicole Thompson, 12-2. The Griffins look to put that on the line this weekend before conference play begins. Ladies, thanks so much. Great stuff as always. Good luck this weekend.
Thank
you.
There you go. Torie Sandoval, Nicole Thompson joining us up here on the program. I tell you what, I know we have an athlete that needs to get to class, so let's do women's basketball next. We'll do baseball and then men's basketball to end. So we'll welcome on head coach Luke Scheidecker and our student athlete who celebrated a senior day with 5 others this past Saturday. Forward from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, that's Sydney Lewis, who was a part, especially on Saturday, a big part of the victory against Northeastern State. But, man, this team right now, 11-15 overall, 7-10 in the MIAA. We can say for the first time that this team is on a win streak. Winners of 3 in a row, 5 of their last 6. 6 in a row at home, and up to 9th in the conference standings. And Coach Scheidecker, I don't know what to say other than that was just a really fun week, and things are really clicking for this team right now.
Yeah, I thought we played great as a team, and it was good effort, and we executed the game plan, and, we competed at a high level. We've been getting better and better all year, and it's been nice to see some wins come out of that.
I think when we played Northeastern on Saturday, it was almost like a paradigm of here's a Northeastern team that started hot, has fallen on hard times, and then you think about our story, like, we're sitting there maybe 2-7 and things like that, and when the new year flipped, like, we had some hard road trips there, and then, baby Tatum comes into the world, and then things kind of flip for us. A team that started 2-7 is here at 11-15. I mean, that's just kind of interesting when those paths cross to see just how our trajectory has changed here lately.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see our growth. I talked about it, I think with you on Saturday. It was just, it would have been easy for a group to put their heads down and think, this isn't going the way we wanted it to. We're going to quit. We're not going to put the effort in. And they never did that. They never shied away. They kept working hard. They believed in what we were talking about. They stuck to the process. And we've seen our, the fruits of our labor come. And, it's been fun to watch. And you want to be playing your best basketball right now as you head into March and making shots and understanding. I think we as a group, everyone understands their role, how to execute it well, and we're just playing well.
No doubt about it. And Sid Lewis again up here. And in the win on Saturday, 14 points, 6 rebounds. Sid Lewis, along with she had to come off the bench. We had our 5 seniors. And then Sid, who is listed as a junior, celebrating a senior day, which we can talk about that a little bit. But at one point, Sydney, 4 free throws made in a row for you, getting rebounds, you're getting block shots. I mean, what did not only Saturday, but this recent run, what has it done for your confidence personally?
I think just knowing that I know how to play basketball and, I've never struggled with free throws before. So right. Just working with Coach Gill and my teammates as well, just giving me that confidence that I needed in the game. And I just trust, that I've practiced these shots in this gym, practiced the shots on this rim. So, just put it in.
Absolutely. And Sid Lewis on the year shooting 63% from the field. You are just a guard dog at that rim. It's so fun to watch. 6.3 rebounds a game and a team best 21 blocks. Now, Sid, you being a part of senior day, you are listed as a junior. You played JUCO ball before coming here. So is it? It's my understanding you're graduating early. Is that right? Or
No.
My bad.
So
Sid had quite the incredible journey. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Okay, so I graduated high school in 2020, and after AU, things just didn't go out my way. So I just decided to go to St. Louis as a regular college student. I went there for about 3 years, and I became manager there, trying to walk on the basketball team. Things didn't work out that way. I wasn't really given the opportunities, and then that's when I learned about JUCO. That's not really like a big thing where I'm from.
Yeah.
So I just decided to reach out to a few colleges.
Actually, reach out to me as well.
Yeah.
Talking about that.
But understandably, I hadn't played basketball in 3 years at that point.
Wow.
So, Coach Briley from Mineral Area, she just happened to take a chance on me, and ever since then, I've been able to play again.
Yeah, Mineral Area Community College in Mississippi, is that right?
No, Mineral Area is in Park Hills, Missouri. I went to
Pearl River in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to give you more insight, Sid was really good at Mineral Area. Briley Palmer, who was her head coach, is now the head coach at SEMO.
Mm-hmm.
So she couldn't go to SEMO with Briley at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So then she ended up going to Mississippi with one of Briley's close friends down there. Signed at SEMO to go to SEMO this year. But because of her clock issues, wasn't able to go to Division I, but was able to go to Division II because of our great compliance person, Madeline. And, it's one of those journeys, right? Like, you don't hear about this, right? People, Sid went to college for 3 years, was a manager at SLU.
Yeah.
And, sacrificed a lot just to do this. And, kind of the fruits of her labor, having such a great year here. And I'm going to graduate the degree in May, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, no, that is terrific. So, awesome to hear about that. I remember reading about. I remember you said Mineral Area and Pearl River. I remember we had a couple of players who have been on a lot of collegiate stops, and so that's just really great. And so we're so appreciative that the road, the broken road, so to speak, ultimately led here. So 2 games left in this regular season. Emporia State at home on Wednesday, and then at Newman on Saturday. And so breaking this down, Emporia State, kind of like us, they're starting to play a little better, but they're also fighting to get into that conference tournament field. Newman, at this point, out of the hunt, but that'll be their home finale, season finale, senior day. So, we'll see how that motivates them, a team that has nothing to lose at this point. And it feels so long ago. We played Emporia like December 6th or the 7th on the road, and probably feels like, admittedly, one we could have had it not been for a slow start. But things are going well, Luke, going into this week. Just how do we maintain that?
Yeah, I think we just keep doing what we've been doing, and execute our game plan, come out there, focus, have great energy, and play team basketball. I mean, I think that's been a huge thing, is we've really got to the point of knowing where we want our shots to come, how we want to get to those shots, and really just executing at a high level on both sides of the ball. Defensively, we've gotten better and better throughout the year. And I think you're just seeing that come to fruition at the time, as our offense, we've been running in transition more, we've been getting out in transition, but it starts with getting stops, and we've been doing that at a higher rate, and more success comes from that.
Yeah. And Sydney, just to end with you, so just briefly, just recapping, however this season unfolds, just how would you kind of just characterize your experience with Coach Scheidecker here and Mo West, and just getting this new lease on your career? What has that meant to you?
It's meant a lot, especially because I've competed against him. So, I've seen what his programs, have been and what they are. So coming here was no question. But I just think that, later in the season, as we've grown and, we've built chemistry, that it's starting to show that what we all saw in the beginning is starting to come out.
Yeah. So I heard you're getting your grad degree right now then, right?
No. Undergrad.
Bachelor's.
Yep.
And you'll get that in this May.
Yes.
Okay. So
yeah.
However the basketball thing, ends up, what is kind of your hope when the career is done?
I definitely need to get my master's.
Yeah.
I plan to get that in industrial organizational psychology. And, I'm still deciding if I want to play overseas or not. Okay. So that's just where I've been in between.
And you're from the D.C. area, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it true your high school jersey's retired? Did I read that right?
Yes,
yeah.
it is. Yep.
How did that come about?
I don't know. I guess just the success that I was able to help my team out with in high school. Yeah.
Let me see if I get this school right. McLean High School.
McLean.
Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. So awesome. So Sydney, thanks for sharing all that with us. We sure appreciate it, and we love watching you and this team play. And you'll get a chance to watch them at home one more time here this Wednesday against Emporia State. And if all goes well, and it is right now, you'll probably get a chance to see them in Kansas City the following week, March 6th through the 8th at the MIAA tournament. So Luke, Sydney, thanks. We loved that so much. Good luck this week.
Appreciate it.
All right, Luke Scheidecker and Sydney Lewis giving us some time. I said it last week. I'll say it again. I feel like I learn something about somebody every week when I'm up here, and that's why we have these conversations with our coaches and student athletes. Continuing from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill, our weekly coaches show, the GSI Podcast from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill. Back half of the show is here. We'll be with you for the next 20 or so minutes as we lead off this part of the program talking Griffin baseball. The record sitting at 5-8 overall and 0-3 in the MIAA as Mo West had one of the toughest tests you can ask for to begin conference play. 4th ranked and undefeated Pittsburgh State, the top of this league, and it's no joke. We know what Central Missouri's done, and now Pitt State coming out of the gates with a charge. 8-2, 7-2, the scores on Friday, Saturday. Sunday's game, a close battle, but ends up as a 4-3 guerrilla victory with their run there to end the game. So, Coach, in that realm, you get to see best of the best right away, so there's some positives there, but I also know some frustrations. I know you hate losing more than anything, but overall takeaways from the weekend.
Probably Luke Shanahan should be up here instead of me. I mean, that guy was
3
unreal.
home runs, yeah.
I mean, I think it just takes that. I mean, he played a former coach of his, and so he was pretty motivated, and I just think that's something I challenged everybody with is, like, sometimes you have to kind of find what fuels you. And Luke got benched last week and then came back, and last week had a walk-off hit, had a home run, and then it's been on a charge. So I think, I think it's just a great reminder for everybody that a tough lesson's the best motivator is putting your butt on the bench. So good for that guy. That was really cool to see.
Yeah, had a home run in each of the 3 games in the series, and then Cam Sala gets his first start on Sunday. It goes only the 3 innings, but 3 scoreless innings. What did you see from Cam yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I want to win, but I'm also not going to ruin someone's career with his first outing of the year coming off UCL issues. So we threw him 3 innings to build him up, and we have a plan in place for that. And, he did a great job, did everything that was asked for him, but we're going to be cautious with him because he's got a bright future.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Talking baseball with head coach Michael Keeran as the Griffins continue conference play back at home this weekend. So it's the conference home opener, so to speak, against Central Oklahoma. The Broncos coming in at 9-4. Now, I believe, if I remember, I read the standings this morning that this will be UCO's first conference series of their season, and we know that's a program that they've been strong. They've got the facilities and the resources there in Edmond. It's a good college program. Obviously, you coached in the state of Oklahoma, pretty familiar with them, and on the bright side, we have played well at home thus far to begin our season. A chance to do that and get the first conference wins. Where does it start as you guys get back to work this week?
Yeah, we're not labeling anything like we play good at home or we play bad on the road. I mean, we played the number 20 team in the country on the road, and we played the number 4 team in the country on the road. So we're not labeling that. It's too early to label things. But, they're good. But I think once our guys – stopped looking at the smoke and mirrors of Pitt State and their crowd and their atmosphere, and got past all that, all that fluff. We played them pretty tough and lost on a walk-off home run. So I think our guys know now that that doesn't matter. And I think a lot of them coming maybe from the Division I ranks understand that at the small college level, there's going to be, drunk students in the stands. You're going to have to deal with that. And I told them that if they want to play past college, they're going to have to get used to that because, Coach Monroe played at the professional level, and he's had his fair share of being the beer batter and all that, and, having his Twitter and Instagram and Facebook looked up. So it is what it is. I mean, they have a home advantage. Yeah. They have a lot of pride in their university, and they're as advertised, but it's not like if we had to play them tomorrow, I'm shaking in my boots. I don't think that's how we operate.
And you had mentioned, talking to that road trip at Metro, who did crack the polls, as you said. You said that it was a bit of a longer bus ride home than it is to Pittsburgh, but you said you had a bus full of pissed-off people. Did you get that sense coming back, and does that give you some solidarity as you look to this weekend?
No, I just think it was like, hey, this is what we have to do to be able to compete with the top teams in the nation. I think, again, like I've walked away from wins where we've won by 12 at the junior college level or high school level, and Chris has been a part of them in those post-game speeches where I get after them, and they're looking at me like I'm psychotic. And we've had games like yesterday where we lose on a walk-off home run against the number 4 team in the country where you walk away and you're like, that's what it's supposed to look like. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not about playing an opponent. It's about playing the game. Sure. You know, we're not trying to beat Pittsburgh State. We're not trying to beat Central Oklahoma. We're trying to beat the game of baseball. And there are things you have to do correctly to win at a high level. And it doesn't matter who you play against, just the margin for error. You know, if you play someone who's 0-10 or you play someone that's 14-0, the margin for error changes. So that's what I think we have to continue to preach. And I have a ton of faith in our staff and our players to get it right.
We'll get to watch more closely here this weekend as baseball is home. Friday at 2, Saturday 1, Sunday at 1 o'clock. Yeah, I'll never understand the waterfall at Chad Richardson Stadium either.
It's cool, though.
It is cool to look at.
I've seen it. I mean, the junior college I was at, we always did a festival at UCO, and it's a really good facility and really good resources. But, I mean, I know the Ray brothers, and I know that they're going to put their shoes on the same way I do. They're going to tie them, and then they're probably going to double lace them. So, like, we're not looking into too much of that.
Yeah.
And, like, their 3-hole, I coached him last year at junior college.
Yeah.
Their number 3 arm, who's a twin brother of the 3-hole, I coached him last year. So, like, there's a ton of familiarity.
Sure.
And that's why we want to be at this level. And the MIAA is good, but I think we can be really good. And I've said that all along. And, yeah, I mean, nothing's ever like a fairy tale where it's like you start off to a 10-0 start in your first year. Like, you play the number 20 team, you play a team that's centrally region ranked, you play Pitt State, and then, you know, we have UCO, UCM. Like, there is light at the end of the tunnel, but, like, there's a lot of winnable games right in front of us, and we're not, again, viewing who we're playing. Yeah. We just have to play quality baseball.
No doubt. Friday 2, Saturday 1, Sunday 1. It'll be on the MIAA network. Myself, Tucker Holden, will be there to cover it through the week. Coach Keeran, thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, there you go. Michael Keeran talking baseball. And rounding out the show from Hi-Ho Bar and Grill on this Monday afternoon, another busy one on our campus and away from campus. Griffin teams playing at home and competing on the road. In the case of basketball, they'll do both. They'll be at home Wednesday against Emporia State, at Newman on Saturday. Here to talk about it on the men's side, Brooks McKowen, and one of our 3 terrific seniors, a 6'2" senior guard from Caledonia, Minnesota, Noah King, who just went off for 53 points this past week. But talking to the week, Coach, you know, we knew Arkansas, Fort Smith, you know, we like to talk about how good the North Division is, but UAFS hit 20 wins on Saturday, went down to Northwest and got their 20th win. So we know they're good. I know there was frustrations there, but a nice response. I feel like that's been the thing with this team, coming off losses, tending to respond, and did that against Northeastern State. Just thoughts on how all that unfolded.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't play bad on Thursday. I guess you look at it. We just it was one of those where it was who's going to score the most points because neither of us were really stopping anybody. So, you know, I'm proud of what our guys are doing right now offensively. I think we're really clicking. We're really playing well. We've got things moving. You know, it's a different guy, different night. Obviously, Noah went off both nights this weekend, but then you throw Ty in on Thursday, Bodie on Saturday. So, like, I'm happy with where we're at as a team and what we're doing. I think it's, you know, we're hitting our peak at the right time. And, you know, Fort Smith they came and beat us. Like, I will give them credit. They came out and just beat us on Thursday. Now, we had to clean some things up. I think we could have done some things better. As a coach, we definitely could have done some things better and maybe changed our defense a little bit to try to slow them down. But they made shots, and then we had to hug up on them, and they got to the rim and scored. And so they did a little bit of everything. And but, again, like you said, we bounced back Saturday, and we came out from the start and kind of took it to them right away, which I thought was huge. We haven't done that a ton this year, so it was nice to see that first group go out and build that lead. And then we brought subs in, and we extended it, and obviously they made their runs back at us. But it was good to see us kind of complete a full game like that.
Yeah, we've talked a lot how this team has been a second-half team, and so you had to get that electric start fueled largely by Mr. Noah King up here, who has now had this season 10 games where he has scored at least 20 points. And Noah, you know, just kind of looking at the winter half of this season, right, the last month or so, I know there were probably some games as of late where you took a lot of tough shots, a lot of good-looking shots that perhaps just didn't go in for you. What did it mean for you to just see that ball go in so early in both of those games and to put up those kind of numbers again?
I mean, yeah, it just felt good, I guess. It was kind of a relief. Had some struggles there for a little bit, but, it just felt good. And good confidence to get going a little bit early in both games.
But in games where, I think that's what's so exciting about this team is if someone's having an off night, someone picks each other up, like, Bodie Goodman coming off the bench for 20 on Saturday. But how can we talk about Ty Henry for a second? 22 points or more in 4 of his last 6, and he, like you, celebrated a senior day on Saturday. What has it been like for you just to see him have that kind of success?
Yeah, no, it's been awesome. He's on a tear right now, and we all know how talented he is, so it's not like it's a huge surprise, but He's been huge for us. And, I think, there's a couple games there where, like you said, it can be anybody's night. And, when I did struggle, there's a couple games where he was just, unreal and had great performance and stuff. So it made it a little easier that we won some of those games and stuff because of guys like him stepping up and everybody else too, obviously. But hopefully he can keep this going for us and, continue to play like he is right now.
Well, we've talked about guys stepping up. Frank Keller, for a third, fourth game in a row, having to play the minutes he has and doing the things he's done has been huge. Staying with you for a second, Noah, I've talked to a lot of the underclassmen lately. We had Bodie up here last week. I feel like I talked to Marco recently. 3 freshmen, right, that have come in and made an immediate impact. And I think about you seniors leaving us, and, you and Devin have been in the game for 6 years, and Ty at Baker for a long time prior to this. Like, I think everyone here could wish this group could play together a little bit longer. But for you, kind of the outgoing folks, to see the guys who are just coming in make this kind of stamp, I mean, how cool has that been to witness?
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of fun getting to play with them, and like you said, cool to see their growth too. I think they've especially Frank, getting added into the mix recently, but I think they've all learned a lot and kind of grown over the season, and they're all playing well right now. And like you said, it's going to make for a really good core coming back for the future and for the program in the years ahead. But we're just looking forward to finishing the year, I guess, right now with them all playing good basketball like they are.
Yeah, Griffins hope to end this regular season on a high note, and there is momentum. I mean, this team has won 5 of its last 7 games, and we're home to Emporia Wednesday at Newman in Wichita, Kansas on Saturday. Now, Coach, I know from the outside looking in from a fan's perspective, it's just like you look at it and go, okay, us, Mo West, on a good tear, top 5 in the league. We're playing 2 teams that are 13th and 14th place that are virtually out of the postseason picture. It's tempting to kind of look ahead and lick your chops and go like, oh man, we're going to get them and we're going to have 20 wins and it's going to be great. But that's referred to as the outside noise, or Coach Saban would call it rat poison, right? As a group, I know it starts with Emporia and Wednesday. Why are we playing so many Wednesday games? I'd like to know. Kind of accelerates the week. But with that game 2 days from now, what are you honed in on right now?
Well, the Wednesdays are my fault, Tommy. We're the ones that get to decide if we play Wednesday and Saturday. So we like having extra prep for that Saturday game.
Fair enough.
It balances out. You got guys that are playing
good for the old guys.
Yeah, 6 years of college basketball, a little extra rest is good for them. So, and what you just explained is a trap game. So you got to be ready to go. Yeah. Emporia's got an outside chance to get into the tournament still, so they've got a lot to play for. Like, we know they're going to show up and be ready to go. Coach Biller's done it a long time, and he'll have those guys ready to go. It was a good game at their place. It was a battle back and forth, and I think we stretched it a little bit at the end, but they've been in games. Like, they're not just getting blown out. Like, so it's a good basketball team, and then last game of the year for Newman. So, those are always tricky. It's at their place. So
empty the tank.
You never know what they're going to show up like. For us, we got to show up and do what we do. Make sure we're ready to go. And, these games are big games for us, and our guys know that. So I don't expect them to take them lightly.
Well, you talk of late game at Emporia being a trap. We went down there late February. I think they hit 15 threes on us, and we gave Tom Billiter his 500th career win. So you truly never know, do you, at this time of year?
Nope, exactly.
Yeah. So, again, we'll be home Wednesday against Emporia. It'll be a faculty staff appreciation night. It's a painted black night. So even though, our senior day was the next to last home game, think of this as senior day part 2. It'll be the last regular season home game for these athletes, and last chance to see them home sweet home. But you know what? The beauty of it is Mo West men's basketball, who has clinched their ticket to the MIAA tournament 7 years in a row, by the way. It's only just a quick 50 minutes to get down there to Municipal Auditorium, and we're used to having the privilege of watching this team in that great event, March 6th through the 8th, coming up next week. Emporia, Wednesday, 5:30. We're at Newman, Wichita, Foodgate Gymnasium. I'll be up in the mezzanine broadcasting the game, that men's game on Saturday at 3:30, with, of course, the women preceding at 1:30 p.m. So, Noah King, Brooks McKowen, awesome stuff. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy.
There you go. Noah King and Brooks McKowen giving us some time. Griffin basketball, 18-10, 10-7 in the MIAA. That was a fun way to end our weekend there on Saturday. Big win over NSU. That'll do it for the show today. My thanks to Brooks and Noah, to Luke Scheidecker, Sidney Lewis, Michael Keeran, Nicole Thompson, Torie Sandoval, Alejandro de la Torre, Jevrosima Mitic, and Sean Gosewisch. We had a great lineup today. Appreciate the coaches making their athletes available to us and for making themselves available to us as well.